It's a scary situation. Parents are unfamiliar with their rights.
Maryland lawmakers are considering a bill to make sure parents know their rights during child welfare investigations. The Know Before They Knock Family Right to Notice Act would require social workers with child protective services to inform parents about their rights as soon as the investigation starts.
Now, Brianna Ross explains why one local mom believes the bill would have saved her family from a lot of trauma.
Behind the smiles and the coos in this video captured 3 years ago, Amanda McCarty says her family was going through an absolute nightmare.
My story is a story that I wish no parent will ever have to experience and go through.
The nightmare started on May 29, 2023, when McCarty's then 9-month-old daughter suffered accidental burning during bath time.
Arriving to the hospital, I was in sheer panic, fear. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just wanted my daughter to be okay.
That fear amplified when a CPS worker and a detective came to the hospital to question McCarty and her husband on what happened. They explained it was an accident. McCarty says a detective later determined the same thing after a search of her home. But still, she says a CPS worker hit her with a safety plan, requiring her oldest daughter to live with another family member for 6 months.
When that safety plan was handed to us, we were pressured to sign that. You know, my daughter had to leave within hours. She was placed with my mom, but at that time, me or her father could not have unsupervised contact with her.
McCarty wishes she would have known her rights before she signed.
I could have had time. I could have talked to an attorney to figure out what the best plan was for my family.
That's why McCarty and the Public Defender's Office are backing the Know Before They Knock Family Right to Notice Act, requiring social workers or law enforcement officers to let parents know their rights at the start of a child welfare investigation.
They're not Miranda rights, but they are similar in that they require they would require that parents be informed of the allegations against them, of their right to have an attorney, or the right to seek advice from an attorney, the right not to sign anything that binds them without having some advice first.
Nina Villamar and her team at the Public Defender's Office represent parents who become involved in the child welfare system.
It's a scary situation. Parents are unfamiliar with their rights. This bill doesn't create any new rights for parents, and it doesn't take away any rights from Child Protective Services. What this bill requires simply is that parents are informed of their existing rights.
But the Maryland Department of Human Services says social workers are not the right messenger. The department sent WBAL-TV 11 News a copy of their testimony to lawmakers saying, quote, social workers are not lawyers or process servers, and SB 650 would have them act outside the bounds of social work practice, unnecessarily escalating tension and creating confusion for families by conflating child welfare responses with criminal investigations. DHS also worries the policy will negatively impact child safety. Villamar says it will promote child safety.
When parents are well informed and they feel safe and supported, they're able to make better decisions for their children.
And that's what McCarty is helping other parents do today as a parent advocate within the Public Defender's Office, trying to bring some beauty out of her family's nightmare.
I am that person that I needed when I went through my CPS investigation.
And there have been hearings on the issue in both the state House and Senate. However, neither side has voted on the bills. We will keep you updated if they do. Live in the newsroom, I'm Brianna Ross, WBAL-TV 11 News.